You're listening to Microbin Radio, progressively elevating the conversation. Coming up next, personalities and profiles. Here's your host, Michael S. Robinson.
And a good afternoon to you, top of the hour. It's Wednesday afternoon here in Fort Lauderdale, and we're streaming live. Thanks for tuning in, and also thanks for being on Facebook Live. It's a pleasure to have your company with us. I'm Michael Robinson, host of this Personality and Profiles show. Also host of the Michael S. Robinson Show every Saturday at 2 p.m. on one of New York's leading talk radio stations. That's AM 970 The Answer. So don't forget to catch me at 2 p.m. this Saturday. We're going to be talking about it's a time for change. Want to know what that means? Well, tune in and find out. Microbin Radio is an internet talk radio station designed to elevate the talk radio conversation progressively with content-driven narratives. And guess what? There's an app for that on the App Store and Google Play. I welcome you to join the conversation on Twitter and Facebook at Microbin Radio. We are happy to answer any questions you have or engage in conversations with you. Podcasts of this and prior shows are available on SoundCloud and microbinradio.com. Here on our weekly show, Personalities and Profiles highlights featured guests who are making a difference within our communities across the country with stories and life events that are going to inspire you. Today on my show, I am very pleased and happy to welcome my guest. He's a seasoned, talented artist that I discovered right here in South Florida. He started singing at the age of 2 in church and began singing professionally right out of college. His vocal range is phenomenal and literally wows all the crowds wherever he sings. And his unique style and charming personality, well, that's a big hit. So today I'm very pleased to feature on our show, Tim Bluntson. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. I'm very excited. Thank you for having me.
It's awesome having you. You know, I go to Vincent's all the time, and you're performing. And listen, there are other singers there, and they're not half as good as you. Trust me. And I enjoy your spirit, your energy. You bring your personality. You bring your life story to the songs you sing. Tell us about your background. What got you into singing?
I started singing, like you said, around age 2 that I recalled. Actually, way back then, ancient times.
Let's not date ourselves, Tim. I'm just 12 years old.
Okay. At that time, I remember being in a parking lot, and there were a bunch of chairs surrounding, because at that time, we didn't have a church building. So what we did was put chairs in a semicircle in a parking lot. And I remember singing a song. I was around 2 years old. And when I finished, I remember people giving me money. So,
oh my gosh, you would do well in New York City.
Yeah, the subway.
Yeah, right.
Nothing wrong with that. So that's what I remember. That's
Right.
one of my first memories.
Right.
Receiving money and people, I guess feeling inspired that I was singing at the age of 2. Mm-hmm. And that's when I knew that the path I was headed for. So, and that's how things started.
I find that very interesting that, somebody literally figures out what he or she has to do at a very early age, because so many of us, including myself, it's still trying to figure out what we should be doing at this time. So kudos to you for really figuring out that this is something that I am put here to do, for lack of a better phrase, right? And literally, you're doing what inspires you. You're doing what speaks to your sensibility, right? And you're doing it in a way that people like me and other people like Ryan can appreciate and say, hey, this is absolutely amazing. This guy is phenomenal. So kudos for that.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
At a young age, yes, you're absolutely correct. And it wasn't so much that I thought very highly of myself as a singer at that age and moving on up into, teens, et cetera. It's just that when I did sing, I saw the reaction that kind of inspired me to say, hey, maybe I need to kind of stick with this.
But it also does something to you physically and emotionally. I can see when you are singing, it brings about a certain energy, right? You bring that to the music. It's not just repeating a song that was sung 20 years ago or 5 years ago. It's bringing your own personal experience, your own energy, your own sensibility into the narrative, into the lyrics. And I get that.
Right, that's what I try to do, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain songs, I mean, I could think of one song right offhand, What a Wonderful World.
Mm-hmm.
When Louis Armstrong sang that song, at the time period that song, when he sang it, was a very difficult time period. So for him to sing that the way he sang it.
For, just so everybody know, for blacks in America, it was difficult because of the fact that there was such a huge oppression when it came to racial tension and the acceptance of black singers, black artists. And just for him to be able to sing that song with such love and such optimism.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly, and that's what I sing for my girls.
Right.
That's my favorite song, my daughters.
Yeah. So you've got kids, you have a wife. Tell us about your family.
I have two daughters. My oldest is Sierra, my youngest is Tamina, and my beautiful wife, Madeline. We have a wonderful, loving family, and they're the backbone of what I do. When I come to work, I think about them a lot. And as you know, I bring my wife with me quite a bit because she's an inspiration for me to do what I do.
Right. And she's right here with us, your beautiful wife. And yeah, it was leading up to the question I was going to ask you, what inspires you, right?
Exactly.
But when you think about it, what inspires you is your family.
My family, yes. And I'm lucky to have a job to do something that I love to do. Mm-hmm. Very, very lucky.
And you're busy 6 days a week. You're singing all over the South Florida area.
This year has been a phenomenal year for me as far as working is concerned. I've never worked this much in half a year. I've worked more in half a year this year than I have all of it last year. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very fortunate.
I want to hear a little bit, or our listeners to hear a little bit about why we love you so much. So Dennis, play the MP3 of Tim's 3 songs that kind of cumulates what he actually does, okay? So this is what happens at Vincent's when I go there for cocktails.
I love Vincent's.
Oh my gosh.
Vincent's by the Sea. Oh my God. That's a wonderful place.
And the Lemon Drops, amazing cocktails, by the way.
The oysters. I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. You make me feel so brand new. I wanna spend my life with you.
Deborah Miller is saying, yeah, Tim.
I love Deborah. Hi, Deborah.
That's Tim Bluntson,
She's
folks.
a fantastic human being.
Oh, she's obviously a follower and loves your music.
I've known her for about 30 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. It's great to have people in your life
Right, it
for
is.
such a long time. So you sing a variety of music, right?
Yes.
What is your favorite genre?
I don't really have one. I like them all because they all present different challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything from Nirvana to Earth, Wind, and Fire to Lou Rawls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it just depends.
Is there one that is like organically comfortable for you?
They're all comfortable for
They're
me.
all, yeah.
Believe it or not,
yeah.
I'm uncomfortable with bluegrass. I don't sing bluegrass.
So, your voice is beautiful. Your voice is, the range is amazing. Sometimes you mimic other singers, I can tell. What is your true voice?
My true voice?
Yeah.
As far as what songs?
Yeah. What comes out that anyone can say, that's Tim?
Probably when I do a song like "What a Wonderful World" in my voice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When I start the beginning of that song.
Yes.
I see trees of green, red roses too. That's my voice.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, absolutely. And then you're able to do Mr. Armstrong so well.
Oh my goodness.
Let's hear a little of that.
I sound kind of, I might scare myself. I think I sound possessed sometimes. I see trees of green, red roses too. You know, it's kind of early for me to.
It is phenomenal. Everybody lights up at that bar that we go to, so it's fantastic. So if you were to say to me, what is unique about your talent, what is it?
I try to, I wouldn't say it's unique, but it's an ability that I try to portray, to put my heart and soul into whatever song and be in the spirit of whatever artist that is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
For instance, like it could be Ranchi, it could be, Billy Idol. Hey, little sister, what have you? It could be that.
Right, right.
Or it could be Prince. It could be Michael Jackson. So it depends on the artist. I try to bring the spirit of that artist
into the song, yes. Along with your own personality, I might add.
Which is a little warped.
Which
my personality.
Well, everybody seems to love it, so they like warped personalities. Okay, so we're going to take a break in a little bit, but when I come back, we're going to talk about your future. We're going to talk about what you're planning to do, what your goals are moving forward. We're going to talk about this new song that you wrote, right?
Yes.
That we have a recording of and we want to play for our listeners. And I'm hoping that I can inspire you to get up there in front of that microphone and just do something for us.
Yeah, pray for me. Just pray. Pray for me. Jesus, take the wheel.
Why not? Hey, if that works, why not? You're listening to Personalities and Profiles here on Microbin Radio. We're talking today to our local celebrity. His name is Tim Bluntson, and he is an artist that basically I absolutely follow at Vincent's, our local bar and restaurant. And we're talking about his personality, profiles, music, and all of that stuff. Follow us on Twitter at Microbin Radio. We're live on Facebook. Woo! At Microbin Radio. Yes. Download our app from the App Store or Google Play. Just look for Microbin Radio. I'm Michael Robinson. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Microbin Radio, progressively elevating the conversation. Do you have a great show topic or products you'd like to feature on Microbin Radio? Call us at 754-206-2090. That's 754-206-2090. Or email our sales department at sales@microbinradio.com for more information. Join us every Thursday live for Personalities and Profiles at 1 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Andy Weiser Real Estate Talk Show at 2 p.m. Eastern. Also, on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, catch Sustainable Living. And don't forget to catch the Michael S. Robinson Show streaming live on Microbin Radio from New York City every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Microbin Radio. Download our app at the App Store or Google Play.
Today with me is Michael Reagan, who has been doing an amazing job in promoting his father's legacy. With me in the studio, actually, is my co-host for the hour. She's the Senior Vice President of Supplier Diversity and Sustainability at Citigroup, Miss Ijavette Hines. Welcome. Joining me at the moment is my guest, Mr. Ed Cox, Chairman of the New York State GOP and son-in-law of former President Richard Nixon.
Here's author, businessman, Michael S. Robinson.
Microbinradio.com.
You're listening to Personalities and Profiles here on Microbin Radio, progressively elevating the conversation. Tune in at 2 p.m. for Andy Talks Real Estate, live here on Microbin Radio, sponsored by Microbin Incorporated. Don't forget to catch the Michael S. Robinson Show on New York's leading talk radio station, AM 970 The Answer, every Saturday at 2 p.m., also streaming live here on Microbin Radio. Simply download our app from the App Store or Google Play. Now back to the show.
Hi there, I'm Michael Robinson. Welcome back to Personalities and Profiles right here on Microbin Radio. My guest is the talented artist Tim Bluntson. And today we're featuring his music, his life, his work, his artistry on the show. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We're live, and that's at Microbin Radio. Don't forget to catch me this Saturday on New York's leading talk radio station, AM 970, The Answer, for the Michael S. Robinson Show at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The topic of discussion, a time for change. Want to know what that means? Well, I'm not going to tell you. Tune in. You'll find out. We have amazing guests who will be joining the conversation, and they're thought leaders, and they are going to inspire you. So tune in at 2 p.m. We're also streaming live on Microbin Radio, so if you can't get to AM 970 The Answer, find me on Microbin Radio here. So, Tim, we are talking about you, your life, your journey, and all that inspires you. Your family inspires you.
Yes, my family. It's
the reason why I want to talk about inspiration, right? Because when I first started talk radio years ago, my show is about entrepreneurship, jobs, and the economy. Very hardcore, very kind of topics that were basically secular in terms of who it represented. And then over the years, I've changed my narrative to include things that were self-empowering, right? Topics that were about how to move your life forward. Because I realized a long time ago that I could not have been a successful entrepreneur without having some sort of an inner working, an inner mechanism, and an inner way of viewing the world around me and putting tools to work for me. So the idea of inspiration for me is big. And whenever I talk to an artist, one of the things that I realize is that he or she is inspired by something to create the artistry, whether it's music, whether it's a painting, whether it's a sculpture. There's something that creates an inspiration that comes to the table, that drives a passion. And what I want our listeners to get away from all of my shows is a sense that there's a passion, there's an inspiration in all of us. We need to find what that is, and we need to be able to tap into it consistently. Not for 5 minutes and forget about it for the rest of your life, but how do you tap into it on a daily basis and be inspired even when things are not so rosy?
How do you tap into it? That's a very good question. It's just something in me that drives me. It's just something that comes from your heart. It's not something you can fabricate or it comes from just a place that you know that it's there and it drives you every single day. I remember walking the beach with CDs in my hand on Fort Lauderdale Beach and giving out CDs. Mm-hmm. You have to have a certain kind of person. I mean, not everyone does that. People have agents, they got managers, they have makeup.
Right, right. No, absolutely, yeah.
I just had myself. Mm-hmm. And I did that, and from that, down here, my music career, as far as working, took off. Mm-hmm. But I originally started out in Tampa, right out of college. And I always knew that I was going to sing. I always knew that. I don't know how to explain that, but I always knew that. So I majored in theater in college to be well-rounded, just in case,
something didn't happen. You can fall back on.
If I couldn't sing, then I'll try to be a movie star or something.
I'll act.
Yeah, I'll act. I'll act like I can sing.
There you go.
So right out of college, I started DJing in nightclubs, and then I ended up sitting in with bands, and it started in Tampa, and that's where everything started. But I always knew that it's hard to explain what drives you other than saying that there's something. It's an it.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can't really put a name on it. I just call it it.
The it factor.
Yeah,
right.
Something is it inside you, and I just thought of that. Hey,
yeah, it's an it factor. It's a passion. It's a fire that drives you.
Right.
Right.
Carlos
Menendez says hello, by the way.
Carlos. that's one of my guys in my band, Carlos and Phil and Ron John. Hello, guys.
Right. So we're going to talk about what's next on the horizon for you. We're going to talk about music today compared to music 20 years ago. We're going to talk about exactly what you were just mentioning, how different it is for an artist today compared to say 20 years ago. We have a lot more resources available at our hands. And a lot of artists are taking it upon themselves to basically produce their own music, right? Produce, market, sell. You have all of these vehicles online, whether it's iTunes, whether it's social media platforms, that you can basically tap into and do a lot of self-promotion and marketing for very little money. We'll talk about all those things later.
Okay.
But you wrote a song, and I want to let our listeners hear your talent of writing and creativity. And tell us a little about the song and why you wrote it.
When you listen to the lyrics, I think you'll get it.
Okay.
It's an inspirational song. I wrote probably 17 years ago, 2001, somewhere around that time.
And the name of the song is?
You Can Go Higher.
You Can Go Higher, coming up next.
Slip away, but when you think it's out of reach, just let me say, lift up your head, look to the sky, reach for the stars, and they will show you how you can go higher, higher. There's nothing that you can't achieve if you just believe. You can go higher, higher. If there's a will, there'll always be a way. If you just believe. Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you thought it would be. Could be a twist of fate so strong, it brings you to your knees. No denying, I'm crying, but I gotta keep trying. Look deep inside yourself, you'll find the light that shines. It'll give you strength to leave your troubles behind. Then you can go higher, you down. Nothing's gonna stop you now. You can go higher. You can go higher, higher. There's nothing that you can't achieve if you just believe. You can go higher. You can go higher, higher. If there's a will, there'll always be a way. If you just believe. You can go. If you just believe. You can go higher. If you just believe.
That's You Can Go Higher by Tim Bluntson, folks. That's Bluntson. Tim Bluntson. And Tim, wow, that is inspirational.
Yeah, that song.
That moves all of us here.
I know. I need a drink of water.
Feel free.
Or a shot of vodka. I don't know. I'll take the water for now.
You know, maybe the cocktail idea might be a good thing to have on the show moving forward. No, but really, I hear the inspiration. I hear the question that I was asking you before. What inspires you is your belief that you can go higher. You can reach for bigger things.
Right.
And that optimism, right, is inspiring for everybody. I mean, for me, for everybody listening to this. Where can we find this song? Is it on iTunes?
No, it's not yet. I haven't had the opportunity to
We have to get it
mix
on iTunes.
Yes, we have to. Yes.
Right. And we need more songs like that.
I have quite a few more songs. It's just that when you have a family and you're working
a full-time job,
5-6 nights a week, and you have to kind of balance things out. What's priority, what's not. And right now, even though I have many songs that I've written that I can't wait to put out, I have a family first. So
correct.
My family comes first.
Sure, I understand that.
The finances is
the
tight.
priority of the day.
Is priority.
Yeah, I understand. So, what challenge? Well, I was going to ask you what challenges are you facing as an artist today, but that is a kind of a silly question compared to, the answer you just gave me. Your priorities are your family, and obviously, being able to find an agent that will probably take you to a higher level is the key thing moving forward. But we all know that the music business is a challenging industry today. Right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
And the thing that happens is that a lot of artists have taken upon themselves to, like you did, self-promote themselves, walking on the beach, giving out CDs, potentially singing, and waiting for someone to give them an opportunity to launch their career on a higher level. And these are things that are possible. I think that if you believe it's possible, it will happen.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I really believe that.
Exactly.
And my good friend Melba Moore and I have been talking about that quite a lot, in the past couple of years on my show, about the fact that you really have to know what it is you want to do. You just have to continuously do it, and eventually the answers or the way becomes clearer to you. Or an angel,
We have those
pops
too.
up
and
says, "Hey, Tim, I want to help you."
Right, exactly.
Right, exactly. So these are blessings that happen every day in our lives, and I think it's just about being out there, being on shows like this, being able to showcase yourself at venues. You never know who is going to be listening or hearing you and say, "Hey, I really like that guy, and I want him to be in a Broadway show." And next thing you have a record deal or whatever. So
right, exactly. I'm just one of many thousands, probably millions of musicians that are working every single week, but don't have the opportunity or the know-how to access options to give them a platform to get their music out. So,
Believe it or not, just being on this show is a first step in that direction.
I am ecstatic. I couldn't sleep, and I'm going to blame you if I. Let me tell you, if I fall asleep at 8 o'clock tonight instead of 2 in the morning.
This show's usually half an hour, but we're going to extend it a bit longer. After all, it's my station. I can do it. I want to hear a little bit about you singing a cappella. I want our audience to hear you do something a cappella. I know you're tired. I know your voice is shot, but you can go up there, mister. And I want to hear you.
Now?
Yes.
I feel like Scooby-Doo.
You're going to wrap things up with a beautiful a cappella by Tim Bluntson.
Just a few seconds.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Just a few seconds or something. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Baby, you'll find there's only one love, yours and mine. I got so much love and needing you so. My love for you, I'll never let go. I got so much love, and I'm done.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. That's the power of talent. Something I can't do. I've been trying it all my life. I can't sing a lick. So anyone who can sing a note or two, I applaud them, and you do many more notes than one or two. So in terms of social media, right, it is a venue for many people, many people to get their message out there, many people to build following, build an audience. How are you using it?
I advertise. I do a lot of private events, but mostly, I advertise the public ones that I think people should come to and they would enjoy. There are some public places that I play that are kind of...
So tell us about the places and when you're playing at those places.
Okay, well, first of all, Vincent's right down the street here.
Right.
Vincent's by the sea. I mean...
Lauderdale by the Sea.
Lauderdale by the Sea, yes. It is a wonderful place, and I'm happy to be there. The owners and staff, Donnie and Vincent, his wife, Maria, I just want to say to them, thank you.
Yes. And they're scheduled to be on the show, by the way, on one of our segments called Sustainable Living.
Really?
So, yes.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to that.
It's a small world.
It's a small world.
Another place that I perform at Whole Foods in Pompano. I perform there on Tuesdays and Fridays. I've been there now for a couple of years. And hello to the Whole Foods gang out there. You know who you are. Crazy people. You'd be surprised at Whole Foods.
Really?
You'd be surprised. You have to go there and see it and experience it. Another venue where I perform with my band, I have an all-live band, with the guys. We're performing at Blue Jean Blues, which is not too far from here, 5 minutes up the road, not even. I'm there this Sunday.
Oh, okay. What time?
8 o'clock, Blue Jean Blues.
Blue Jean Blues. Okay.
And I have an excellent band. John and Carlos and Phil have a special guest sitting into this Sunday. Al Cabrera. So I just want to say that because he's doing something that doesn't happen very often. So appreciate it.
Wonderful. Well, much success to you, Tim, and I want to have you back here talking about your music moving forward.
Yes, I wanted to move forward. Yes.
We're going to promote you as much as we possibly can. It was a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you and a pleasure to be on the show.
Absolutely. My pleasure as well. And thank you all for tuning in today. We have come to the end of Personalities and Profiles here on Microbin Radio. Continue to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Microbin Radio. Podcasts are available microbinradio.com and SoundCloud. Right, Dennis? Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Chris. And thank you to the lovely wife of Tim for being with us this afternoon.
Yes.
Don't forget to catch me this Saturday on AM 970 The Answer at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in New York City on one of New York's leading radio stations, AM 970 The Answer, for the Michael S. Robinson Show. We're going to be talking about a time for change, so tune in and find out what this is all about. Trust me, it's going to be an amazing show. I'm Michael Robinson. Remember, this is your time. Use it wisely.
This program is sponsored by Microbin Incorporated.